Hey everybody, welcome to the Cafe of Knowledge. Y'all already know when Jay is not here, I'm getting ready to read somebody's ass. Y'all already know that. So thank y'all for tuning in today. Appreciate everybody for coming in, clicking like, click subscribe please. If you're new to the channel, please hit subscribe. It's right there on your right hand side, little red. It's free. It says subscribe. Just click that. Don't cost you anything. But anyway, let's get right to it. I don't know if I'm going to have to do a part 2 to this, y'all. But I'm going to try it. But I really don't want to go too much over the time. So if it going more like it's going to an hour or something or beyond an hour, I'm going to cut it short. I'm going to stop it. And then we'll do a part 2, and y'all just have to tune in next week to part 2. Because I don't want to bore anybody by talking an hour and a half. And, you know, some people not going to want to just sit there and look at no video for an hour and a half. So I have to time myself too, y'all. That's why I had to keep looking at my clock or whatever, my watch. But anyway, this here topic is from Shanae O'Neal. Our subscriber requested this, Shanae O'Neal. And this is a good topic, a very urgent topic. That's why I said it might be a part 2 to this, because I really don't want to fly through it, because this is an urgent, important topic. Okay? And the topic for today is disappearing fathers. Okay? Now, before I go into the disappearing fathers, let me just say to the fathers who are in their children's life, their child life, or with a child or children, if the fathers who are in their kids' life, raising their kids, and it could be a single dad raising their kids, they could be a dad that's not in the home, but they still take care of their kids. They still spend quality time with their kids. I want to salute all the fathers who do that, because there are millions of fathers who don't. And we call them disappearing fathers, okay? They are disappearing fathers who do not do that. So salute to all the fellas, all the guys, all the young men, whoever that have kids, and you are involved in your kids' life. You are making sure they're financially taken care of, or either you're still in the home with your kid, or either you are raising your kid by yourself. All of that, we salute you to the utmost respect, okay? Now, let's get to the disappearing fathers, okay? Now, a lot of people just don't know. I'm going to get right on into this. A lot of people don't understand. Let's tell everyone what's going on here, because we really need to stop this, okay? The disappearing fathers, we really need y'all to stop disappearing on your kids, or stop not wanting to be in your kids' life, okay? Because this is a very urgent message that is needed for you to pick up the pace, and we need you to, you know, get on your grind and take care of your kids and spend quality time with your kids, okay? So now, it's about 15 million. You heard me right. 15 million, okay, children in the United States without their fathers, okay? Now, that is very alarming, okay? So, this, as you see, is an urgent message. 1 out of 3 children are without their fathers. So you have 15 million children out here in the United States without their fathers. That's 1 out of 3 children without their fathers. Okay? It's nearly 5 million African American children that they only live with their mothers. Okay? which is without the father. So, if you didn't hear that right, it's nearly 5 million African American children who live with just only their mothers without their fathers. Okay? Which is about 54% of African American children that live without their fathers. Okay? So these numbers are very, very alarming. These numbers are very painful, and they raise much concern. Okay? And I'm going to tell y'all, the majority of the people across the United States, whether they politicians or whatever, the majority of the people, just your regular citizens, they blame the reason why children are dropping out of high school, the reason why children are failing in high school, the reason why children are so into crime, the reason why children just they have the juvenile system so congested. There's so many kids in juvenile nowadays. They in the juvenile detention center. They blame all this on those disappearing fathers. But the one who gets the most blame for all of this happening is the single mother with the kids. Okay? Now I'm going to tell you why they blame the women. But they also blame these disappearing fathers. Okay? But the single mothers get more of the backlash. Okay? Now, they say that all of this is due to the fact that the fathers are not in the kids' lives. Okay? The reason why they're in juvenile, the reason why they dropping out of school, the reason why they failing in school, the reason why they going into crime, the reason why they going into drugs and alcohol and just overcrowding the juvenile system. They're going to jail and prison at an early age. They're just doing so many different things that's negative. And that's because they are blaming that disappearing father and their single mother. Okay? So what the society, many of them in the United States, really feel like this is a burden on taxpayers. This is a burden on the government system. They look at this as a burden. Okay? And so you have to understand that. And I did in one video, and I don't know if anybody remember, but it does cost $117,000. It costs $117,000 just to raise one kid, one child. Okay? And so you can imagine if it's 15 million kids out here without the father, and that single mother needs a little help from government assistance or need a little help here and there from somewhere else, you can understand why they're saying this is a burden. Because if you say $117,000 to raise one child, $117,000 times 15 million. Do you know what that is? And y'all can get your calculators out and figure that up and see what that is. But that's the amount that they are saying is being put on the United States system because of these disappearing ass fathers. Okay? So now I'm here today to read those disappearing fathers' asses. Okay? So now that y'all know the numbers, which it should be very alarming to y'all. Okay? Because it's very alarming to me. So now, they blame this on why children are living in poverty. It's a lot of kids living in poverty right now. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of single mothers living in poverty. It's a lot of disappearing fathers living in poverty. Okay? They say this is really the main reason why. Because the disappearing fathers are not taking care of their responsibility, which leaves that woman to struggle with the kids. And then the disappearing father, he's out doing whatever he want to do, but is putting a burden on that struggling mother. Okay? So that's why they say a lot of them are living in poverty. Okay? So now they're doing this. We got a lot of kids nowadays and single mothers that are living in poverty because that disappearing father is lacking his responsibility. He refuses to take responsibility and take care of his responsibility. Okay? Now, millions of fathers convince themselves that, hey, you know, I don't really have to be in the kid's life, or, you know, I don't really have to be there or whatever. I don't know what's making these disappearing fathers feel like this, but they are 100% wrong. Okay? Because their child do need them. Their child do need their quality time. Their child do need their support. Okay? And that mother needs it as well from that disappearing father. But for some reason, these trifling ass disappearing fathers feel like they don't have to own up to their responsibility. And they don't have to commit to their responsibility. They just feel like the commitment is only the single mother, not theirs. It's up to the woman. It's not up to them. And obviously, they think like that because if they didn't, it wouldn't be 15 million children without their fathers. Disappearing fathers. Okay? I don't know. They just feel like they can have babies and then not be involved in those babies' lives. Okay? And which is totally wrong. And a father who don't take care of his kid, I'm going to tell you right now, is not truly a man. Now, these men love to run around here, and they ain't seen their kids in years and months or whatever, and they love to think that they are a man. No, you're not. You're not truly a man until you take care of your responsibilities. And a child, if you have one, is your responsibility. And if you're running from it, disappearing from it, and all that, you are truly not a father. Okay? And so, this is why the numbers are trending so much. You know, because fathers just have that, these disappearing fathers have these nonchalant attitudes that they can make babies and then they can go head on and about their business and leave that woman stuck. And that's not how it goes. Because let me tell you something, women. You have to stop laying with these blowfly men. Okay? You got to quit laying with blowfly. You got to quit laying with the blowfly dude or the blowfly man, however you want to call it. Because I'm going to tell you what the blowfly do. I don't know if y'all know, but you know how flies, there's blowflies that runs around here and they land on shit or they'll land on your food. And then, you know, sometimes you'll look at your food and be like, nah, I ain't going to eat this. I'm going to have to throw this away or something. You have those blowflies. And I'm going to tell you what a blowfly do. A blowfly will come, land on shit, or either land on food, or land on whatever they can land on. And then they lay a little eggs. And then they take the protein from whatever the shit is, or they take the protein from the food, and then they leave their egg, and then they fly off. And that blowfly don't never come back to that same piece of shit, and he don't come back to that same piece of food that he done laid on. He gonna go and find a new or fresh one and do the same thing to that one with no feelings. No, he don't come back and check on the sandwich that he laid egg on. He don't come back and check the shit that he laid egg on. He gone. And he never looks back. He finds the next piece of shit that a dog done laid out, or he looks for the next piece of food or a picnic that somebody having or whatever, and he do the same exact thing over and over and over again all his life. That is the same thing that a disappearing father do to a woman. And ladies, we have to stop. You have to stop laying with these blow-fly men. That they'll have a baby with you, and then they're gone. And you're stuck. They come to you, and they're laying on you for a little while, whatever. Then they leave their little product behind, and then they take the hell off. And never look back. And don't give a damn about your struggles. Don't give a damn about your needs. Don't give a damn about your wants. Don't give a damn about you, period. That's a blowfly. That's a blowfly man. Y'all need to start reevaluating these men or these dudes when you're talking to them. Because this will prevent another 15 million kids without their fathers. You have to take precaution with these blowfly dudes. And they're very charming, but you got to pay attention to the blowfly dude. Don't let nobody just be landing on y'all, making babies, and then taking off and leaving y'all with the struggles, and then you got to run around and try to find some type of assistance, some type of support, and all this stuff for somebody from another agency or another person, and then you run around and you try. Now you got to try to work 2 jobs if you can, and then you're still trying to go to school and then take care of the baby and all that. That blowfly done put you in a whole bunch of problems that you really didn't have to have at that time. But because you didn't evaluate that blowfly, you stuck. You know? So you have to pay attention with that. And these disappearing fathers feel like they could take breaks from being a father. You have some that they'll come in and out of the kid's life every now and then or whatever, and then they act like because they seeing the kid once every 5 or 6 months that they doing something. You ain't doing shit. I'm going to tell you that right now. You ain't doing shit. So don't brag on that, baby boy. Don't brag on that, because you ain't doing nothing. If you just seeing your kid, you brag on you seen them 4 or 5 months ago, or you seen them a year ago. I wouldn't even tell nobody that, because that ain't letting that's just letting everybody know that you an ain't shit ass father. That's what that lets people know. So we need these disappearing fathers to wake up, shake up, and start owning up to their responsibilities, because that 15 million kids without them fathers is so alarming. That is so alarming. And ladies, you should feel like it's alarming, because a lot of us are part of that 15 million. And we're not doing anything about it. We'll continue to let these disappearing, no good ass fathers keep recycling on top of us without any commitments, without any clarity, without any major notice of they gonna be there for you. We just in the heat of the moment, and then things happen, and we're not paying attention to how we getting fucked over. You don't realize that until you struggling and they're gone. And then we have a nerve to try to be mad at this dude. No, we have to start taking time. Let's turn that around. Ain't no sin. Okay, yeah, it's over. It's done. He a blowfly dude. But let's change this. Talk to yourself. If you have daughters, talk to your daughters. If you have granddaughters, talk to your granddaughters. If you have grandsons, talk to your grandsons, because somebody needs to stop this cycle. We need to start talking to these young boys and these young girls. This is not how it go. This is not how it go. And until we start talking to them and making sure that this recycling problem don't keep continuing, we have to do that. And a lot of our kids, 15 million that's being raised without the fathers, the guys are recycling from what they seen their father did to them. Wasn't there. So they feel that's okay. Let your child know. Let that son know. Let that grandson know. Let that nephew know. Let all of them know that is not what you do. You putting a burden on society when you do that. And you putting a burden on yourself. And most of all, you're putting a burden on yourself. Because see, I'm going to tell y'all like this right here. We let our kids grow up and we let them all on these tablets and cell phones and all that stuff. We ain't telling them the importance of life when it's time to know the importance of life. Okay? We got to start making these young men respect women, and we have to start making women respect the young guys. Okay? And both of them needs to be installed about value of themselves. How value their life is. How value their life can be without going around recycling blowfly activity. Okay? Because they really think that is right. They see that, oh, my father wasn't in the home, whatever. Oh, it's okay. The mom is struggling. They see that the mom's struggling, but it's really not hitting them the way it should be hitting them. You know what I'm saying? Then they go out here and then have a kid with a girl and do the same thing to that girl that his father did to his mother. Because the mother didn't sit down and talk to him and tell him, this is not right. This is not how you do things. And if you want to have something in life, you cannot do this. Because when you do, they're going to try to take your money from you, child support. And when you do, it's going to take your freedom from you. See, that's what's wrong with the world today. We have some parents that's running around and they just worried about themselves. And as long as the kid is going to school and, bringing home some good grades, they're probably not bringing home good grades, but as long as they going to school and then they got a place to lay their head, we feel that's it. No, that's not it. We have to start installing this stuff in them. Because it's getting out of control when you have 15 million kids in the United States without their fathers. So I just don't understand how people are bypassing this. And it's a whole lot of people don't even know this. But they're a part of it. Because if you're a single mom, you are a part of that 15 million. If you are a disappearing father, you are a part of that 15 million. And people don't wake up and read the statistics of what they fall up under. They just live their life how it's supposed to go. And then the next generation recycles the life they see. And then that generation recycles the life they see. Now we got 15 million children without fathers. Then the next generation gonna have 30 million children without fathers. And then the next generation gonna have 35 million without fathers. No, we got to stop that. We have to put a stop to it. And the only way to do that is you have to start not only making sure women have to not only start making sure you don't get in contact with a blowfly. You have to make sure your kids, either it's the son, don't be a blowfly, or rather it's the girl, don't even mess with a blowfly. Because it's going to happen either one or two ways. Either the son going to turn into a man to be a blowfly, or either the girl going to turn into a woman who has been blowflied on. So we got to change this shit because it don't make sense. And a lot of fathers think that because, you know, they pay child support, that, oh, I pay child support for mine, so I'm good. I'm good. I take care of my kid. No, you don't. You don't take care of your kid. Who told you that? I just told you it costs $117,000 to raise a kid from 0 month old or 1 week old all the way to age 18 to 21. I just told you it costs $117,000 to do that. And that child support check is not covering that. That's just a percentage just to help out. But you still have to do fatherhood. You still have to be involved in this child's life. You still have to see the child. You still have to spend quality time with that child. You still have to go to football activities, ballerina activities. You still have to be involved. See what they're doing in school. See what their grades are. Helping them with their grades. You still have to be active in that child's life. And paying child support, it don't stop there. It continues. It's more than that. It's more than that. Look at the single mother. The single mother have them all the time, feeding them all the time, taking them to school all the time, or making sure they get on that bus on time, and making sure the grades are okay, and making sure they got money for their extracurricular activities, and then making sure that they can get on the basketball team or the football team, and they going to the games, and they watching the games, they going to these dance recitals, they doing all this, they paying for the dance recitals, outfits, they're doing all this. They taking them to fairs, they taking them to the amusement park, they taking them everywhere, they doing all this. A single mother does all that and put out money as well as the father put out money. So what in the hell make this father think that he could just put out and give child support and that's it? That's not it for her. That's not how you raise a child. It's not it for her, and it damn sure ain't it for you. So when you say you paying child support check, I pay child support, so my child good, and you proud of that? You think that's what fatherhood is, huh? Well, I got news for you because I just told you what it is, and it ain't it. That ain't it. You're supposed to do that. Now do what you're really supposed to do. All that quality time. All that spending time. Let them spend the night with you. You go get them. All that. And we ain't talking about you go get them every 6 months and let them spend the night with you. That ain't shit either. So, these disappearing fathers need to get on their game. You know? And I'm quite sure once they seen the title of this, if they know their disappearing father, they probably didn't even click on it because they don't even want to hear nobody telling them the truth. So that might be the case. So you single mothers, it's 15 million of you out there, and the ones who do watch Cafe of Knowledge, you need to try to find a way to shoot their ass this video. Now this video ought to go up in alarming numbers. This video, because I know like hell, it's 15 million single mothers out here with disappearing fathers. So this video ought to shoot skyrocket. Because you need to get the word out. You need to get the word out because this needs to stop. For our community, to make our community better, to make ourselves better, and a better life for our kids. Because disappearing fathers got to step up. They got to step up. And if you know he ain't going to watch it or he don't want to see it, you need to shoot it to his nearest relative that you know he hang with all the time and shoot this video to them and say, tell Johnny boy to watch this. He needs to. Because this ain't right. You know what I'm saying? And you just have, it doesn't matter if the man don't like the mother of his child, because I do hear some men say that. I don't like the mother of my child, or she took the child out of town and I'm not able to be with that child. She won't let me see the child. They come up with all kind of excuses on why they are a disappearing father. See, when they try to talk to other chicks or they're around their homeboys or something, because they don't want to feel shitty, they start telling all this old bull crap about, oh, you know, she won't let me see my child, or otherwise I would be in his life. Or she took the child out of town in another state or whatever. I don't know where they at. You know what I'm saying? Or I don't get along with her. You know, me and her can't get along, so I can't even be around my child because I don't get along with her. All that stuff ain't nothing but a damn cop-out, coward way of saying you're not responsible. You know what I'm saying? Because that's what courts are for. You know, if a woman is keeping a man from his child, then, and he really want to be involved with this child. Now, if it didn't have anything to do with abuse or alcoholism or drugs, and this father is really want to be in that child's life, and the mother is keeping him from the child, or the mother moved far away in another state with the child and all that, it's still excuses for the man, because the man can always go to a court system and plead his case and change that whole scenario. So that's just an excuse. Because, see, when I hear him say that, because, see, like I told y'all, I have been around so many people. Like I said, I've had 700 and something employees at one time, and for 20-something years, can you imagine how many different employees that was? That's like 740-something times 20. And I've had thousands and thousands and thousands of different employees that worked for me and that I've worked with. And I've heard all these excuses. And usually when I hear a guy, oh, I don't get along with her, that's how come I can't be around my kid. You know, I can't even get my kid because me and her don't get along. Or she done moved out of town and I don't know where they at. You know, or you're just coming up with all these excuses. The first thing I say is, well, what court system did you go to get that handled? And it's like, huh? What court system did you go to get that situation handled? Oh, nah, I ain't been to court for it. You know, well then, don't blame her. Because if you really wanted to be involved in your kid's life or your children's life, if you really cared and love them like you say you did, see, you saying all this because you want to look good at the time. But see, when you hit them with what court system have you been to get that situation resolved, not one of them was able to say what court they went to, because they haven't. Because if you really wanted to be involved in your kid's life or be involved in your kid's whole growing process from beginning all the way to they 20, 21 years old, if you really wanted to do that, you would run your ass to the nearest court system and tell them, hey, this girl here is gone with my kid. You give them the name and you give them the age and all that stuff, and they can find them and say, hey, the court day is for this. The man plead this case, the girl plead her case, and if he is so passionate about seeing his kid, that judge will grant that. But they ain't really passionate about it. They just talking mess. They just bumping their gums, flapping their tongue, because they is not really interested in being in that child's life. That's just something to make them look good in front of people at the time. Because if they really was, they would be down there at the court system. That's just a scapegoat. So you throw it on the chick and use all these old lame ass excuses on why you ain't involved in your child's life. Think ain't nobody on to that shit. We on to that. We on to that, because if you really care, there's a whole bunch. It's a courthouse around everybody's city. It's a courthouse probably blocks from a couple of people. It don't take nothing to walk down there and tell them you want to be involved in your child's life. But you ain't going to do that, because your dusty ass really don't want to be bothered with them damn kids or that child. You just want to put on this front that you are. And you're not. So it's like they constantly make up all these different excuses on why they are not in that child's life. And a disappearing father is nothing but a selfish person, self-centered, condescending, lazy. That's a disappearing father. All of those things, And most disappearing fathers, they conceive kids because they have low self-esteem. You know what I'm saying? And some of them conceive kids really didn't want the kid. They just conceived the kid with the chick to either prove a point or to let other dudes know in the neighborhood he had that chick. Because see, she come up pregnant, now all the other guys know she done been had. See, some disappearing fathers, that's why they disappeared, because they was only there to prove a point anyway. He wasn't there because he really cared for you or really loved you or really wanted a child and really wanted to be in a child's life. That's not what some of them, evidently, that's not what 15 million of them was with women for. Most of them are, and this is true, ladies, most disappearing fathers that conceive children have low self-esteem. They did it for their low self-esteem. Okay? Meaning that maybe people thought that they wasn't truly a man. Or maybe people thought that maybe their sexuality was questioned. So they have to prove a point. So they conceive a child. Most disappearing fathers, they want bragging rights. These are reasons why most of these disappearing 15 million fathers have done this. Have conceived a child with a woman, but no, he didn't really want the woman, and he didn't really want to be a father. They was just trying to prove a point. They just want to let everybody in the neighborhood see that they would have do with this chick, or the chick has been had, or they want bragging rights, or they have low self-esteem, or they trying to, like I said, they letting every man know he been with her. Okay? They're fighting with their sexuality. It's some of them conceive kids because they fighting with their sexuality. They don't know what they want to do. They don't know which way they want to go. So they'll try to conceive a kid to try to prove a point to themselves and to other people that probably question their sexuality. Okay? It's to boost their ego. See, all of this is why disappearing fathers have children. Conceive children. Because they fighting with all this stuff on the inside that women don't even know that they fighting. And then, like I said at the beginning, they conceive, leave, and then the woman is there by herself because of their insecurities. And women, we just have to make better choices on who we dealing with. You know, because a disappearing father causes so many problems. They cause problems within themselves. They cause a hell of a lot of problems for the female. They cause a hell of a lot of problems for the child. They cause a hell of a lot of problems for society in general. Because they only thinking about themselves. They don't really, they really never did care about the female. You know what I'm saying? Because if they really cared about the female, even if they left the female, they would still take care of their seed, their responsibility, their child. He ain't got to be with you to do what you do, taking care of the child. You ain't with him and you doing it. So he really don't have to be with you to do his job. But because he's a trifling ass father, he ain't gonna do it. Because like I said, he was with you at the beginning for all the wrong reasons. And it damn sure wasn't love. So you have to, women, you have to get yourself together. Men, young men, y'all have to get on your job. And if it's any fathers out there who are taking care of their responsibility and everything, and 9 times out of 10, you know a male who is not, you need to shoot they ass this video or tell them to watch this video. Because this trend, alarming trend of 15 million children without their fathers and without their fathers participating has to stop. The recycling have to stop. And women, you are the main person that can stop it. By watching what you lay with and making sure you don't lay with a blowfly. You know? So, females just need to demand a long-term relationship. A lot of you are just meeting a guy real quick and y'all date for a couple of months or whatever, and then there you go. All of a sudden, whoops, you know? And you have to start dating. It's okay to date, have a good time with a man and all, with a young man or however. It's okay to do all that. But you need to make sure you taking those birth control pills or whatever you got to do, or you making them come out real quick. I don't know. But what I do know, that you need to do a long-term relationship or a long-term commitment. Take care of yourself and make sure that he commits to you. Make him give you that ring. Make him commit to you with a ring. Make him commit to you on marriage. or tell him, I want to get married, then I want to have a kid. See how quick that joker ass run then. See, that's when you'll be able to tell who the blowfly is. When you start running your mouth about a doggone ring and about marriage and about moving in together and all that, you're going to see that joker head out like a blowfly. And then you going to know that he was a blowfly man. He was a blowfly ass dude. That's what he was. See, y'all scared to touch on the subject because you're afraid he gonna leave. But then he leave you with a whole bunch of struggles. I just don't understand that. So you worried about not wanting to say you want to get married because you think that's going to run him off. Or you pressure him on marriage. This is if you know that y'all are so intimate that eventually you're going to mess around and have a kid. If it's getting like that, then you need to make him making a commitment. He needs to make a commitment. He needs to marry you. He needs to put that ring on your finger. He needs to do all that. I don't care if it's a short, make him do it. I don't care if you ain't married to him for about a year. Y'all get married and it don't last but a year and he gone. But you definitely will be able to say, well, he didn't just leave. He just didn't leave me. I was married to him. And, you know, I do have his last name. The kid has his last name. And I'll be taken care of or this or that or whatever. But you didn't let him run from you. So you have to make these steps before you start conceiving. You have to push and pressure, and you want to play around. You know, me and Kill Me always want to play house. They want to play house, but then they don't want to take care of the house. And that's where you women have to stop that trend. Stop that recycling thing going on. You have to stop it, make them commit, make them put them rings on, make them marry or whatever. This is if he want kids or you want kids. But don't keep meeting guys, let him blow fish, he leave, and now you got one child. Then you meet another one, he blow fish, blow fly, and then he leave, all of them the same. Blowfish, blowfly, everything. Because shoot, you know that we can name them blowfish because they come and try to get the cat and the tuna, and then he gone too. So, you know, they could be both of them, a blowfly and a blowfish. Ain't now one of them good. Because that's what they doing. You got to make them commit to something. And when you start talking about commitment, if he gonna be there for you, he ain't got no problem with it. If he's serious about you and a future kid and all that, you ain't got no problem. He ain't got no problem with it. But if he's jet and run like his ass on fire, that was a blowfly. So it's up to women to reevaluate themselves on what they dealing with. Because 15 million is an alarming number. And I'm taking this time like this and I'm talking, and it might sound like I'm repeating myself and all that. But ladies and men, this is something urgent. And it seems like, you know, sometimes they say you have to say something a lot for it to sink in to somebody else. Because obviously something is not sinking in. And we all dropping the ball on 15 million kids out here in the United States. We are dropping the ball. Because there's no way in the hell it should be 15 million kids running out here without their fathers. We all have to take responsibility for that. The disappearing father and that single mother. And the only way we can stop the recycle is if we nip it in the bud and cut it, chop it right now. Because you're talking about poverty. It's going to be worse than this if we keep this recycling going on. It really is. And most females feel like, you know what? I don't know why these type of females think like this. If I have a baby by him, he'll love me and he'll step up to the plate. See, because you like this dude so much. You know, you like this guy so much. And you, for some reason, you got it in your damn head that if you have a baby by him, he will then love you, stay with you, be a good father, step up to the plate. No, he won't. No, he won't. No, he won't. You just tricking your damn self. Don't be a trick. Don't trick your damn self. Because that's not how that works. And I just told you 15 million reasons why it don't work. It's 15 million children without fathers. So that don't work. Because it's a lot of women who have done that, thinking that they can hold on to the man or trap the man, and it doesn't work. So that's old news. We might as well scrap that. You know, everybody used to think like that. And the adults need to be telling these girls that's not how it works, and stop that way of thinking, because that's not how they go. Now you're going to get your goddamn feelings hurt. I'm telling you right now, because having a baby by him because you want him ain't going to keep him. Actually, it's going to make him run faster, because he's not really into you. And that's how that go. He can't even love his damn self. So why in the hell is you trying to pressure him to love you by having a kid that you know he ain't a no good ass person anyway? So why in the hell would you want to have and trap a no good ass? You know what? I have never understood that. Why in the hell a woman want to trap a no good ass joker? I do not know. Knowing he ain't shit and still saying, I can have a baby by him and I can make him step up. He doing wrong like hell. He cheating on you. He staying out late at night. You can't find him 4-5 days. He done came up missing for a week or two. Then come back and call you for a booty call and all that type of shit. And you still think that you can have a baby by this no good ass person and he gonna all of a sudden tidy up and get right. Girl, you got this damn shit all messed up. That's not how that shit go. That's not gonna make him change his ways. That's not gonna make his ass change at all. You can't make a trifling ass man be a great ass father. So you might well scrap that, because that's not how that works. You know what I'm saying? So there will be just so many females left with heartbreak. They forced to struggle. They forced to depend on assistance, government assistance. And fellas, let me tell you, I think I'm going to have to do a part 2, y'all, because this has gotten real deep. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say something for another couple of minutes, and then I'm just going to cut it, and then we're going to do a part 2, and you see the part 2 next week, because I really want to get deeper into telling you about the excuses that we hear and how men blame the woman for getting pregnant. And then he used that as an excuse on why he ain't with you. And I'm going to go deep with that one right there. But anyway, I'm going to say this one little last thing, y'all, and then I'm going to cut it. Because like I said, I knew that this video would probably be long because of the severity of the subject. Disappearing fathers, something that we really need to stop. But I'm going to say this one last thing. You know, men, you have to understand that you are putting a burden on a lot of people when you conceive and leave. Okay? When you conceive and leave, you are putting a hell of a burden on that woman. And when I say leave, I'm talking about leave and you really leave. You really gone. Don't know. The kid ain't seen you in 5, 10, 20 years. You probably ain't even seen the kid till the kid get grown. That's when you conceive and leave, you put a hell of a burden on women. And men love to say, you know, oh, well, I don't see why she got me on child support, this, that. Let me tell you this right quick. It's not that she got you on child support or made you get on child support. It's the fact that you left her and she's struggling and she might need government assistance, or she might need food stamps, or she might need a little extra help for somebody else. But let me tell you something, fellas. The government will... they will help that female, but they also gonna chase your goddamn ass because they feel like, the government feel like if they gotta help her, your goddamn trifling ass got to help her too. That's how that works. So while you're mad and talking about you don't know why, I pay child support, she don't have to put me on child support. Well, you need to make sure she don't need to depend on government assistance. Because as long as a woman have to depend on, even if it ain't the government and it's somebody else, that person always gonna have a say-so on chasing your ass down so you can participate too. Because they is not gonna take care of your child while you ain't doing shit. That's how that go. Why you running around here got a goddamn attitude because somebody got your ass on goddamn child support, but your goddamn ass done disappeared and went out somewhere doing what the hell you want to do, ain't taking care of your goddamn responsibility, and soon they chase your ass down for child support checks and shit, you got a goddamn attitude. Why? Take care of your damn responsibility. And you have to understand that if somebody else got to do it, if the government got to do it, or somebody else got to do it, they gonna chase your goddamn ass down and make you participate too. This shit ain't free. That's how they look at it. So anyway, part 2 coming up next week. Y'all stay tuned because I'm going to continue from there. So appreciate y'all tuning in. Gain knowledge to prevent blockage. We all know what that means. The more you know, the harder it is for anybody to block y'all from y'all goals and y'all success. Part 2 next week, y'all. I hate to leave y'all like this, but I can't have this video go on so long, over like 2 hours. I have to chop it and cut it, okay? I have to do that, but stay tuned next week because it's going to be even more juicy. Bye-bye. Y'all have a nice one. Please click like and subscribe, please. And y'all need to shoot part 1 video to some of these trifling ass disappearing fathers.